right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and it is the Super Bowl. Well, not really. Super Bowl coming up, I think, right? But for all the rally heads out there, it is the Super Bowl. It is the event that everybody dreams of. That's right. It is the Dakar Rally. We are hours away. Well, I should say we're hours away from knowing the results of the first day Prologue. I am ready to go. I think we got this figured out. It's a little bit hard since everything is on the opposite side of the globe. But we're going to make it happen. So let's get right into it. This is going to be a short episode. I'm going to do my best to get you guys the briefing before every day's stage since they race while we are asleep over here on the West Coast. So let's get this turned down here really quick. Short intro today. I should work on that. I need to hire somebody to give me a one of those like bitchin' like intros that, you know, makes a bunch of sense. So I don't know. We'll do that one of these days. All right. So we are officially 1 hour and 43 minutes from the green flag on the first stage. That's right. The first bikes being released out onto the liaison stage. 1 hour, 42 minutes, and 55 seconds as of the recording of this episode. So what does that mean? We're headed out on the liaison, and then we're going to have a special test that is for the, first day's Prologue. Prologue stage, for those of you playing the home game. Prologue is basically qualifying. If you're used to any kind of motorsport event where qualifying is involved, the Prologue is that for rally racing. So that is going down tonight in 1 hour and 42 minutes and 27 seconds from now. That will help get the first starting order for day one, or the first stage. I'm going to talk about it in as tomorrow for us, but I mean, it already is tomorrow for them. So today, Prologue, tomorrow, stage one. Let's take a quick look at this and get some of the specs for today's stage. Get down. It is going to be a total of 614 kilometers with a 19 kilometer special stage, followed by or including a 595 kilometer liaison. So if you guys have been following along, those terms should not be unfamiliar to you, but very simple. Liaison is basically the road from the bivouac or your pit section or your pit area to the start of the stage, and then after the stage is completed, or the special stage is completed, then it is the transit from, or the road from that finish line to the next day's campground or pit stop, or formerly known as bivouac. So that is the specs. 614 kilometers total. They will be riding 19 kilometers of time. So that's a long way to go race 19 kilometers. 0.62 miles per kilometer, if I'm not mistaken. So you're going to go 6. That's about a 13-mile race for those of you. So in 13 miles with some tricky navigation, you're going to sort through these guys pretty quick. So I would not be surprised on that one. There is some strategy, though, to this. Do you want to set a barn burner of a time? I mean, just go out and blow the wheels off, and then you're going to be lucky number one. That's the first guy to open the stage, the official first stage of the rally. There's got to be some strategy there to that. So let's see what we can do here for the qualifying. Let's take a look. Let's go over to. We're navigating through the app. If you guys haven't checked it out, the Dakar app is actually pretty cool. Got a lot of information on it that you can kind of check out, flip through, and get familiarized with what is going on and what these guys are going to be going through. So let's see if we can get drivers standings. Let's see the route. Today's route. Oh, they just got a big map there. So let's look. So I don't know. There's a lot of talk, a lot of stuff going on, and teams. You know, KTM's the 3-color or KTM, the tricolore. Actually, that's the Ducati thing. They're probably gonna get a cease and desist by the end of the episode. So let's see here. I'm trying to look and find. They had let's see, they have for the stage, they do like a stage description, but it seems to have disappeared for the qualifying stage. But we will probably catch up with that on tomorrow's debrief. But basically, yeah, they're going to be riding a long distance today, 600 kilometers. Total 614 kilometers with a special stage of 19 kilometers. Liaison going to be 595 kilometers. So we will see what the starting order is tomorrow. We're going to figure it out for tomorrow night's episode. We're just going to do a super quick brief of what the stage looks like, the information, and then maybe some starting order stuff as well. So the goal is just to at least get some information out to you guys right before bedtime. And then that way in the morning when you wake up, you kind of know what these guys went through if you're checking the results and stuff like that. And actually, I will say too, if you haven't already, there is another podcast that you should probably tune into. Besides this one, you should be liking and subscribing and sharing and telling all your buddies about how bitchin' this podcast is. I kid myself. But anyway, so the other one that you should be paying attention to or subscribe to if you aren't already is the Dakar Rally Daily, and that's with Jesse Ziegler, I believe it is, and this one guy, Quinn Cody, who knows a thing or two about KTMs and the Dakar Rally. So definitely want to tune into that. I have been listening to that podcast, and I am getting some information from that as well. It's very informative. So definitely want to tune into that one and get some info. So that's what I'm listening to as well. And then I'm also following along on the Dakar app. Already set my rider favorites, so I'll get alerts when Ricky Brabeck gets an interview or Mason Klein gets an interview or they finish a stage or they do something like that. I'm going to be getting alerts on that. So absolutely stoked on this year's Dakar app and how they're doing. So it's day one though, but let's see how this thing works. I'm hoping this thing is going to work actually pretty good, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Stay tuned, and also I'll start building it up now. As of right now, we are already working on basically a halftime show. That is going to be for Tuesday night. Tuesday, January 7th is the halftime. That is when the official rest day is going on in Saudi Arabia while we're here getting ready for bed and then to go to work the next day. These guys get a day off. They're going long. So I was following along and cruising Facebook earlier, and Dave Black from Couch to Dakar put it very eloquently. For reference, what these guys are going to do is basically race from New York to Los Angeles and back in 13 days. So that is a little bit of riding, but let's see. I'm excited. I think there's going to be a lot going on this year with the American team or the American entrants. A lot of good guys out there. I also am looking forward to see that new bike from Fantic, that 450 Rally that they've got over there. I think that bike also looked really impressive. So I'm curious to see how they do as well. And then, of course, Skylar Howe's first ride factory at the Dakar. So I'm looking forward to seeing that as well. I know there's been, and then again, listening to the other podcast, the Dakar Rally Daily, and an interview with them and Skylar is the amount of testing and stuff that's gone on and the development with this bike it really is interesting to see. You know, the Morocco Rally, they were there and had a presence, and I know that they had kind of a different round of results throughout, and you know, it's going to be teething pains. You know, you're literally building a bike to, and it seems, you know, frame up, right? Because they went from the ladder frame all the way to basically a motocross bike with big ass tanks on it. So there's a lot going to be going on there from the stability of the bike and the way that the thing works. So I'm curious to see how that bike does. Honda, if you also listen to that, Honda had some interesting stuff. And I was thinking, you know, of course they can't lead on to everything that they did to the bike and everything that they're developing. But Honda, you know, they have to keep KTM, Husqvarna, and Gas at bay if they don't want to get caught, and they want to continue that streak. You know, KTM, the KTM group, I should say. I don't know. We're gonna the Orange in Disguise. team. I don't know how we can come up with that, but anyway, those guys, if you don't go and win this 14 years, 15 years in a row and then hand it back to another manufacturer and say, it's okay, it's your turn, let's get you, Now, the first one, probably wrote it off as a fluke. I think the second win for Honda, I think very much so, I don't know, maybe lit a fire, I don't know, but definitely putting some pressure on it. So we'll see how that shakes down, but it's interesting to see, Honda basically saying, nah, same bike, we're good. We're just going to do some fine tuning and tweaking, as you always should be doing on these race bikes and all of this stuff. So, it'll be, again, super interesting. Then from there, let's see, we've got Mason Klein. I'm looking forward to seeing how that shakes down. First outing in Dakar, second time, running with the BAS Dakar team. In a rally, so this will be very interesting. I know that he's gone and trained with some of those guys over there and is familiar with it. I know that we're doing some more training today, which was the day before the stage. So they're just now, well, at this point, they're already awake, eating breakfast, and probably doing their stretches as I'm recording this. So it'll be interesting to see what they do and what they shake down. I mean, it's, Mason coming off that win from the Morocco rally going into this, I think is going to be some really good momentum. I'm curious to catch up with them and see, how just the production that it is. I mean, the registration and the stuff like that. These teams are doing a really good job. If you're not following them, you should be following a lot of people on Instagram to get that background on what's going on. So I'll start posting some of their updates and things like that, and who to follow for them on those pictures. If you're not following us already on the Chasing Waypoints Instagram page, but definitely want to follow there, and then you'll be getting some updates and stuff like that. And so, like I said, hoping to catch up with some of these guys. It is, and I did hear this on the Dakar Daily podcast as well. And very interesting is that, from us over here, we're hungry for news and want to get all this information from them and stuff. And so on the, like they said, on the rest day could very easily turn into the media day for them, when they should be 100% focused on the rally and doing what they need to be doing. So I'm not going to be pushing and looking for interviews and stuff like that, but we're definitely going to be watching and nerding out on this thing as it goes down. I'm excited. I've been a longtime follower of the Dakar rally and what's been happening, what's been going on. But this year, I'm absolutely looking forward to just get into it, look at the standings and just see and look at the stages and what kind of stuff these guys are going to be going through. So I could understand today's for the liaison, for the prologue, not a lot of details on there, because basically you end up throwing it out. It's all about tomorrow, which is the official stage 1 of the Dakar rally. So that's what this thing is for. 19 kilometers. I mean, that's over in a blink of an eye. I mean, that is nothing. That is driving from one end of the county to the other. That's nothing in time. So these guys got to be sharp. You got to be, the strategy literally starts in a little over an hour. And it carries all the way through this event. So it's going to be very interesting to see how people play the game. If you were hoping for a win, and Ricky was doing really, really good and he was leading the whole day, and then all of a sudden falls short just at the finish line, that's not something to be discouraged about. There is strategy in rally. You don't always want to be the guy opening the stage. You don't want to be the one. You don't want to be the one with the target on your back, because you're the one laying down the first lines. So if you get it right, that's wrong. Well, I shouldn't, let's go back. A little bit difficult on that one. You want to get it right, but you want to build a momentum that will keep you ahead, because the very next guy behind you has the luxury of following your tracks, and they can make up time, and they can cut around short corners here and 10 feet there and 20 feet there, a quarter mile there. And next thing you know, they're on your rear tire, and now you guys are riding as a group. So there's a lot of strategy involved with this. It's not just pin it to the finish of each special and then get on the liaison. And don't forget, the liaisons can cost you time. If you miss waypoints, or if you do, you get caught speeding, or you do any of that kind of stuff, there's going to be penalties for that. So we'll see how that plays out. Officially, I've heard that now the tire rule is 1 a day for these guys. So the rear tires, especially, I think important. after talking to Skylar and many episodes ago about this and how the bike reacts with a worn out rear tire. It's a very interesting, it's an interesting concept, right? And I'm glad that they went away from that. You know, at first I was like, okay, cool, you know, tire conservation, and yeah, that's, you know, that makes sense. But then it quickly turned into, after talking to him and talking with those guys, that you know, it's actually an issue. You know, coming in hot into a corner, get all over that back brake, and the tire just kind of turns and looks at you like, what? And, you know, what do you expect me to do? The lugs are rounded and we left them, you know, 700 kilometers ago. So, you know, that definitely is an interesting game as well. So we'll see. There's a lot of rumbling about what they're going to do to try and slow these guys down. I think in listening to the Ricky Brabeck interview, I think he's got it right. I think just making the navigation trickier, more notes per kilometer, or, you know, making it a little bit more note dense, a road book that has more notes per the total distance, will also help slow the guys down, because you got to be paying more attention rather than, okay, well, here's this note and now I've got 70 kilometers before the next note. So that means I'm on this road and I'm going to see how fast this thing goes. So, you know, there's other ways of doing this. I agree with what he said, that if you put a restrictor or something like that, and actually, and Jesse, Cody, and him were talking about this, that if you put a restrictor on these bikes, it makes very good sense. I am by no means like a A-level rider. I am by no means a B-level rider, or a C or a D or an E. And actually, I'm not really sure where I fall in the alphabet on that, but I can understand the that, you know, I see this, and it's like the equivalent of, you see something on a dirt bike, you know, you're riding, or a quad or something, like you see something and you brace for impact, and then at the last minute you go, ooh, if I give it a little bit of gas, it's going to make that front end lighter. Well, imagine being on these bikes that they're already pushing them to the limit, and then they try and give it a little bit more, and it's just not there. Just like your rear tire was looking at you going, what? Now the engine's doing the same thing, going, And what did you expect? Another 10 horsepower out of nowhere? So a lot to be had, a lot going on in the future for this, including the electronic road books. That's also going to be an interesting topic, as well as things develop for that. So anyway, that's enough for this episode. I just wanted to get a quick one in. We're going to talk tomorrow. We will be talking officially stage 1. We'll get you guys the specs on the stage, what those guys are going to be going through, and what the terrain will look like, and things like that. So absolutely stoked. We'll have some results. We'll have a starting order by then, so we'll know more about this. If you guys are nerding out on the rally, you are going to know that tomorrow morning. But if not, stay tuned, subscribe to the show, share it. You'll have that information tomorrow night, right about the same time. So that's it. Let's do it. It's New Year's. See ya. All right, that is a wrap for the Chasing Waypoints podcast this week. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like what you heard. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and a bunch of others. Also, follow us on social media. You can find us on Facebook under Chasing Waypoints, Instagram Chasing Waypoints _official, and of course, the YouTube under Chasing Waypoints. Hope everybody has a good week. We will see you guys for the next episode. Remember, shiny side up, and don't forget to tag us. We want to see where you guys are riding and what you guys are up to. Have a great week.